Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I am really excited to have Abijith joining us. He's the founder and CEO of Edbrig, a consulting firm that's all about helping business bridge the gap between their goals and their real results. Abijith has worked with some impressive clients like Equinox and Izil Beauty. So I'm really looking forward to hearing his story, how he got started, and what it's like working with such big brands and how his team helps business grow, how he actually scaled his business. So it's going to be a great conversation. So let's start.
Hello, Arish.
Hi,
Thanks for
hi,
inviting
Abhijit.
me.
Can you quickly introduce yourself? I've given a quick intro, so you can go ahead and introduce yourselves.
All right. So my name is Abijith, and I've been an agency founder since 2018. So before that, I was born and raised in India. I've done my education from India itself, graduated as a BTech CSE graduate. Worked in multiple sectors, starting with my core structure, core stream was into tech. I have worked as a website developer as well as um, a software developer, mainly into mobile app development. And after that, I have moved into few of other sectors. Let's say a little bit of finance. Worked in a little bit of banking sectors. Then went into credit agency. So that's the last company or last sector which I have worked in. So yeah, that's about a brief background about me. I was not good in studies, if you want that. So I was not so much great in studies. I'm not an IIT graduate or an IIM graduate.
What college did you study
I
for
studied East
undergrads?
Point.
Okay.
I joined VIT, but I did not complete my first year over there.
Okay. So how did you went from being a CS graduate to building your own agency? We have already talked about this
Mhm.
like off recording, but for the viewers, can you like quickly give share your story on how you got into agency building?
All right, it's pretty simple. Let's put it like this. Engineers, right? It doesn't matter whether you're a mechanical engineer, civil, CSE, or electrical. We are builders, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you build. So I started building computers. I started building softwares. Right now I'm building businesses, right?
Yeah.
So that's what is the core. But if you're asking about my life, how it was fun. It was really fun. I started earning from a very early age. I had this passion of learning, this
Mhm.
passion of learning. So yeah, I've worked in the very bottom level. I would say, okay, started my career as a call center agent back in 2011.
What was your age back then?
Sorry, my age, 18.
Yeah. Okay. 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as I turned 18, that's when we got and get a PAN card as well as, a bank account
Okay.
in India. So that's when I started earning.
Yeah.
Um, so started with a very basic package, did a night shift, morning went to college, but did not attend college really well because it was fun in in a lot of ways. So I did not enjoy my college life in terms of studies. You people do the assignments and projects and things like that. I did
Mhm.
not do that.
Mhm.
It was more of fun. Bangalore life. I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So from there, I used to do a lot of freelancing,
Mhm.
whether it is going ahead. And so right now you have, Fiverr and things like that. Now it's all matured version.
Mhm.
Back in days, it was freelancer.com. I don't know whether freelancer.com is still there.
Yes, yes, it is.
So
Yeah.
at that point of time, I used to go ahead and do freelance for multiple companies around the world.
Mhm.
That point of time, there was not much of freelancers also in India. It was very less. So we used to get paid nicely,
Mhm.
really nicely. So now there is a lot of competition. I
Yeah.
see that whenever I have saw many posts, people saying that no, I'm not getting any freelancing jobs also. So yeah, cut short into that. So I used to freelance a lot. I used to go out and work. I used to study. Not exactly study. I used to go to college, show my face. But guys, to the audience, please do study. All right. Be focused on your studies.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
what was the like minimum attendance? Was there something like that in the college?
let's not say about that. It's the minimum they needed was what 68%, 70%.
Okay.
Mine doesn't cross 40%.
Okay.
Let's put it like
Okay.
that. All right.
Yeah.
So we did have a system where we can go ahead and pay a fine and get the hall ticket.
Okay.
So that was a thing.
Mhm.
So we did that. We did that. See, again, that those are things which is mistake. I would say to the audience, if you are an engineer or if you are someone who's going to college, please do attend college. College life is something which is different. Studying is a completely different part, but college education, it's not about books. It's about the learning. So have fun, but do learn. But in experimenting things rather than going through the books, because if you go through the books, you cannot work. All right.
Mhm.
So my education, in terms of my college, it was not the best, as I said. But along with that, since I was doing multiple jobs,
Mhm.
I used to get offers from other companies. And then in between, I moved to Mumbai for a little bit. And I
Mhm.
worked for a research organization as a research analyst, where I did not have experience as a research
Mhm.
analyst. But yeah, I like to go ahead and take challenges. When I don't know something, I like to learn about it. I
Mhm.
like to give it a shot. I like to prove myself that I can do that. Right. Then yeah, from there I've moved to Medellin, Colombia,
Mhm.
and in Medellin I used to go out and work as a network architect because I was good with English. And when you go to South America, you got a little bit of knowledge regarding Spanish,
Mhm.
and if you're strong with English, they will hire you nicely. So I went for a tourist visa technically. I just wanted to visit Colombia because it's really beautiful. I'm a big fan of this, you know, series, Narcos. I
Okay.
love it. Yeah, and it's a beautiful country. It's a very beautiful country to visit. Yes, there is violence, but apart from the violence part, it's really beautiful. The culture, the food, etc. So, fast forward from there.
What did you exactly like work at? What did you work as? You said you worked as a network architect, right? So
Yeah,
what was the job like? What is actually a network architect?
it was a small firm where their headquarters were in US.
Mhm.
So they needed to go ahead and so my job is to go ahead and make sure that all their you know servers, first
Mhm.
and foremost thing, are running intact, whether it is in Latin America, whether it is in Europe, as well as North America. So yeah, we used to
So
go ahead and do that stuff. So taken. So yeah, one thing which I did good while in college was I used to take a lot of certifications. These days a lot of kids are, I don't know whether they are taking certifications. I used to do a lot of Cisco certifications.
okay.
Maybe you would have heard about CCNA, CCNP, CCIE.
Mhm.
Yeah, those certifications. So one thing which I did good was that, so that I was able to go and get these kinds of jobs.
Mhm.
So yeah,
So that
when,
was like apart
mhm.
from and these programs were used to be in the college, but apart from the like the course, you actually like joined these kind of programs for the certificates.
Yeah, it was apart from that because see, college for me. Okay, I started with computers in a very early age, right? So I got my first computer in my home when I was in sixth grade.
Mhm.
So, we are brown parents, how they are like, they don't like kids sitting in front of the computer for a
Mhm.
very long time, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's playing games or browsing and things like that. So I'm pretty curious. I used to go out and say that I have this the work to do, that work to do. I used to sit in computer even at night. So like that, I got into the world of programming a little bit. So a little bit of assembly, C, so these kinds of programming languages. So at that point of time, HTML was at its basic. CSS was not even launched at this time. We do have a lot of front and back end languages which came up at this point of time. That point of time was very basic.
Mhm.
So, uh, so I was pretty curious about computers from my childhood. So it was very easy for me when I came to college when they are going ahead and teaching a syllabus which I already know.
Mhm.
Uh, it was pretty boring for me. So I did not disturb anyone. I just sat aside. That's all the thing, right? So I did not go and say that, okay, don't come and say I know everything. I did not do that. I just sat aside. I did my work. So okay. So Colombia, that's one. When I went over there as a tourist, I did
Mm-hmm.
not expect to go and get a job. I did not wanted to go and apply. I did not have a plan like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting. It was interesting that I wanted to go and give it a try. I saw this thing. One of my friend over there, he told, "All right, why don't you go and give it a shot?" So I went there and gave it a shot, and things went good. I don't know how life took me. I just went for a visit, and this happened. Came back to India, work visa and things like that, and then again went back. Lived there for nearly about 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
So since okay, so me being an employee, I'm good, I would say. I'm a good employee. Uh, so I give my 500% or 200% into my work. So my bosses, my super bosses, who's in US, they really loved my work, and I used to go out and give my true input into it. So after about nearly a year of work, um, they gave me an opportunity to go ahead and work for them in US.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how things started rolling, and that is how I entered US.
Nice. So, uh, how did you actually start your agency after that?
Agency. Okay. So once I moved over here into this company, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good journey. I never thought in my life that I would ever go to US and that to work. Never had planned. My life was till now. It is never planned. I never planned to do all these things. I was a pretty direct person in terms of, all right, you go out and graduate, you go out and have fun with work, you build something in terms of softwares. I'm not talking about building companies, all right? But it was good. So it is all unplanned things, but I went with the flow. But one thing which I noticed was during all this time when I was working, there was an amount of frustration which was going inside me.
Mm-hmm.
The frustration of the corporate employee, and which you can ask anyone, they will go and tell you, right? Their managers are shared or whatever it is, right? They do have their issues, whether it's politics, feedback issues, salary issues, you name it. Even if it is they are working for the best of the best company in the world, they do have issues because that is how things work. So mm, I was getting frustrated too much. So I wanted to do something on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And in between this journey, I did start a business, actually two businesses, which miserably failed. Which I, because again, I'll give you a very quick idea about this. I don't
Sure.
want to go deep into that.
Sure.
Not because I failed, because the reason why I failed, that is the reason. Is because I know how to go and build something at that point of time, but I did not know how to promote it. I did not know how to sell myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can build the best thing in the world, but if you don't know how to present it, how to sell it, nobody's gonna buy. And that is how the world works.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing which happened with me. I thought that, okay, it's not that I think I prepared the best product. But when it comes to marketing, I thought, okay, marketing is a lie. And it's my skill set who comes at first. So uh,
Was it a software product?
at first it was a software product.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, It was more of a social network which I built.
So, like
Um,
the next Facebook.
yeah, actually, if I'm telling you correctly, Facebook launched a lot of features
Mm-hmm.
after 2 years of launch of my product. All right, so those features came into this thing,
Okay.
but yeah, the thing is that I did not know how to sell. You accept your mistake, right? Because when you're building a social networking website, you need a lot of investment, a lot of capital. So people should go out and buy your idea.
Mm-hmm.
And when I don't know how to go and sell that idea,
Mm-hmm.
it is simple. So nobody taught us how to sell. Now I'm talking about back in 2012 and 2013. I don't have a mentor saying that, okay, you should build a business like this. You should build a PowerPoint presentation like this. So these are the things which you need to go and keep it in tech. Nowadays, you go to Google, you search for it, you get all the things. If you're talking to someone back in 2012, 2013, my age group, they'll say you don't get any kinds of resources at that point of time. We were like literally, okay, we don't know what to do next. Okay, this is what it is. Let me go ahead and do it. It is what it is. Mm. So, what I learned from those two failures are, yes, you should have skills, but if you don't know how to sell, you land up, you will end up nowhere. All right. So, the next thing which I wanted to focus on is, so both of those things which I started was my passion. A lot of people in the world, the course, they say that, okay, you should follow your
Follow
passion.
your
But,
passion.
yeah. But when it comes to me, there is a problem. You should follow your passion. But when it comes to individually me, the problem is when it comes to my passion, I'll put you know, my complete life into it.
Mm.
So
Of
I'm
course.
kind of a devotional person when it comes to my passion. So what happened was this time when I wanted to go ahead and do something, I did not wanted to choose my passion. I wanted to do something different from my passion,
Okay.
where I learn something, yet I build something, and I do not go ahead and dedicate myself completely into it. Right.
Mhm.
So that's when I started researching, and I came across a lot of digital agencies, digital marketing agencies, advertising agencies, etc. Now,
Mm.
I see a lot of digital agencies and digital marketing agencies, but the place where I was at, which is Miami, there was not enough like there was enough amount of branding agencies,
Mhm.
creative agencies, design agencies, etc.
Mhm.
Now I did not know what is branding at that point of time. Now a lot of other founders will go and laugh at me, saying that, all right, you don't know what is branding, but you are running a branding agency, right?
Yeah.
But my simple answer to everyone is, hey, you are not born with everything. You learn every day. Right. So what I did was the next thing I started researching about it. I wanted to understand it.
Mhm.
I listed out all the companies who is into branding, design, and things like that, who are technically my competitors at this point of time in the region. So I went ahead. I tried to go and reach out to them, LinkedIn, other things. Went for a coffee meet with them. Understand the business model, understand how they do the things. So
Mhm.
a good 6 to 7 months of just learning, just pure learning. What is branding? How does the business work? How is the business model? What are services should be there, etc., etc., etc.
Did you work inside a branding agency, or was
No,
it like
no,
purely
no.
based on researching and
Just
talking to them?
research.
Okay.
I was having a primary job at that point of time because I cannot go out and live without a primary job.
Yeah.
So it was just me. There was no other funding, right? So I went ahead and researched about it, and it went on for 6 or 7 months time. So that is when there was a time which came up for me. All right, okay, I know things. Maybe I'm not the professional at it, but I know the things. So mm, that is when I decided to start it. But when it comes to starting, I did not want it to go and launch a branding agency directly because a branding agency would need a lot of professionals because it's very difficult. You
Yeah.
going in and building a brand, it's a completely different thing. Uh, so there is this thing which I go ahead and tell to my employees as well as my clients is that every business is not a brand, but every brand is a business. But for a business to become a brand, it takes a long amount of time. You could go ahead and just look around you, you'll find that. You will be able to find which is a brand, which is not a brand, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when I decided to go ahead and start it. So I want to start small.
Mhm.
So started as a design boutique firm, not a branding agency, a design boutique firm. So I had this friend of mine back in India who was very good with design. She used to go ahead and design logos for a very lesser price. Sometimes she used to go ahead and give logo for free, and her
Mhm.
designs were really good, right?
Mhm.
And so I had a conversation with her, and she was like, "Okay, let's do something." So I told her, "All right, I'm going to get the project for you. You do it. I'll give you way better amount." So at that point of time, we started hunting for clients. Now this is the funniest thing. For first 7 months, I did not land a single client.
Okay. So,
Mm,
how did you actually like? Uh, did you get any leads up to that point, or was it like you didn't actually know how to find clients? How was
Let's just say that I was not good at business development too much, right? So I used to take meetings, but again, it did not go well because see, if anyone is going on and giving you a job, you they should know that you're good at that job. So that means that you need to have a portfolio.
it? Yeah.
When you don't have a portfolio, why will someone go ahead and give you work?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So I don't know how to go and build a portfolio at that point of time. Right.
Did you actually like show her work to your clients?
Sorry.
And did you actually like show your friends' work to the clients?
No, yeah, I did go out and show my friends work again. But the thing is that even when it comes to her also, she did not do a complete brand identity project of what these people are looking for, right?
Okay.
She was building logos back here in India and things like that. So it was just a logo, but what they would like to go and see is a complete brand identity guide, which I was not able to go and showcase. So after 7 months, my frustration level again pulling up. I was doing my primary job. It was going on, but again trying to go and build this business. Not going on, not going on. At the end of the frustration, I came into a decision. All right, let me go and give it a last shot. Went into a Facebook group, posted that I'll go ahead and give free logo for 4 companies. So that's when I started getting responses for
Nice.
few companies.
Okay.
So then, all right, at least chalo, theek hai, you're not getting paid, but at least you are able to go and get some work. So that was my relaxation. Then we did get good amount of comments, 20, 25 comments. Out of that, we selected 4 companies. And then we go ahead and built logos and their small brand guide for them. And 3 companies walked away, taking that they were happy with it, and they just went. They told everything is good. But there was this guy who's from Texas. He was like he really liked it, and he gave me first my first paycheck of $600. No,
Okay.
$630, right? And
What
that
year was it?
it was logo. It was his logo in different
What
variations.
what year was it? That
What year was it? 2019.
okay, so 2019. Okay.
2018 we started. Nothing. 2019 this came up. So yeah, that's how it started. So from him, then he started giving me. So he came on a call with me, and then he started explaining his plan of his small business. So I got really into the idea, started helping him in everything, and things were good. Bit by bit, his business was flourishing, and I was getting work from him. Not too much of work, but still decent amount of work. Then
What's it related to the logo only, or and how
no,
like did
we
you?
started with a logo. Then he had some merchandise designs which he wanted to design. So t-shirt, whatever he wanted to go and put it. Then some face masks and things like that. So we designed all those things and provided to him. He was
Nice.
pretty happy with that. Then came his website. We designed his website in WordPress because I used to be a website designer before, so it was easy for me. So I started doing it, and things went on. So from his referral, 2 to 3 other clients came up. So that's how it started.
Okay, so like wow, how was the market back then? Right now I think like even if you offer free works to people, uh, there is a lot of competition in terms of uh, agency because uh, like uh, like I said, I am actually like doing something on my own and trying to start a video editing agency. So whenever I reach out to a client, they actually have a cheaper option from India, of course, and India and Philippines. So they have like they do things like in a pretty cheap rate. So we can't actually like compete with them, right? So
Mhm.
how like right now it's too competitive. So how like what would be your, if you were starting an agency right now, how would you do that?
Okay. See, understand. Let's go ahead and get deep into this. All right.
Mhm.
Understanding human psychology or consumer or client psychology is very important at this point of time. Okay. Now, since you're from Nepal, which is almost same side of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, etc.,
Mhm.
where most of the work from the Western world or Europe is being outsourced.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So there is this impression or the perspective, or that's the truth. It's not an impression or the perspective that a cheap labor can be pulled from this part of the world.
Yes.
It's simple as that, right?
Mhm.
Now, how do we go ahead and make it better? It's not that companies from India is always being cheap. There is a lot of companies from India
Mhm.
who have started their business from India, and they are growing at a very good pace, and they are able to go and price higher. Okay, there are companies like that, but yeah, again, when you're talking about majority, there is a huge gap in pricing. Huge gap in pricing. I will tell you uh, at this point of time. Mm, if you want to do a branding project in India, the base price is about a lakh 20,000 rupees. Base
Mhm.
price. Okay. The
Okay.
same thing you are doing it in US. A good branding project, not an extensive one, but still you're going ahead and doing it. The base price is start from $8,000.
Mhm.
Now convert it. There is a
Right.
huge amount of difference, right?
Yep.
So how do you fix that? See, competition is always there. Always there is a competition. You
Mhm.
go into any part of the world, there is competition, but you should know what you're good at. So that is where branding comes in. That is the reason why I started a branding agency, is because you will be able to go and define or differentiate
Mhm.
why someone should buy from you at this price. So
Mhm.
you mentioned that you are offering a service and you quoted, let's say, I don't know, in Nepal it's rupees itself, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So in Nepal, you quoted 30,000 rupees, right? So
Mhm.
someone offered him for 25,000, 23,000 rupees.
Mhm.
Now you need to go ahead and convince this person why should he or she get it from you. That is where your work comes in and the extra things which you can go ahead and put into the picture. So whether it is going ahead and providing post service, or giving something complimentary, or the quality of your work, right? So
Mhm.
when it comes to video, a lot of people, what they do is, there is a video in a specific format, 16 by 9,
Mhm.
right? So that's in landscape mode, in a specific content, in a specific quality. So can you go ahead and for the same price, can you go ahead and provide a portrait one, the same video in a portrait mode, which they can go ahead and reuse in the social media with the same quality, and there is no issues. And can you go ahead and give all editing files? So that is where your advantage comes in, right? So that is in terms of technicality. Now the next thing which comes is in terms of how you create a bond with that client. How much do you understand their requirements? A lot of people think that, all right, no, I'll settle for 25,000. I'll also pull down my price. All right. It's not about the price. It's all, yes, there is pricing negotiations happen even in US, even in Europe, even in India.
True.
Negotiation happens everywhere.
Mhm.
Who doesn't negotiate? But the real thing is all about you understanding him. So if I am able to completely understand your goal, why do you need the video?
Mhm.
What are you going to do with the video?
Mhm.
And what that video is going to convert?
Mhm.
That person will be able to go ahead and give you maybe not 30,000 rupees, at least he will be ready to go ahead and give you 28 or 28,500. Chalo, here you're catching a loss of what? Catching a reduction price of 1,500 or 1,000 to 2,000 rupees. Before it was, if you'd have reduced the price as soon as you negotiated, you would go pull down to 5,000 rupees. So
Yeah.
try your best, understand that person's needs and requirement properly, get into his shoes and talk. A lot of business development reps, what they do is they just sell. They don't understand. So this is where the main competition and the pricing comes up. See, again, you will not be able to price higher until unless you don't have a name in the market. So when I started Edbrig, I was not able to price higher. I used to do branding projects for $2,000, $3,000, where I'm right now quoting good amount, right? So how did I do it? I did it throughout the period of time. There is a good amount of time you need to invest in the industry. You need to go ahead and have, the variety of projects. The client should know that you're able to go ahead and work with different creative new approaches and things like that. You should prove with your portfolio. That is when you would be able to quote them higher. So you cannot go ahead and start an agency and quote higher. You got to keep a base price for yourself.
I was actually like doing some research for the agency, and I found out that like people were talking, it was a Facebook group, and I saw that portfolio is not the only thing that will help, like find new clients. They said that the client testimonials is equally important, uh, or it's actually more important than having a portfolio. So what do you think about that? Is like, did it help you? Did client testimonials help you grow as well?
Okay, let's keep it like this. Client testimonials or reviews, it's very basic, right? There is no question about whether it have an effect on getting a new client. Yes, you do have an effect. How much effect? It depends. Okay, is that this is how I look into it. You work with a client, they are good with you, right? You go ahead and take their testimonial, you put it on the website, you put it on social media, great. How much conversions is coming out of that? You cannot measure that. But the real measurement you can go ahead and do is when the same client is going ahead and talking to his one of his distant friend who's running a business, and he or she is recommending you. That is when the actual conversion happens. So that is how I want to see the testimonial. So testimonial you're putting on the website and social media and the other things, it's good, great. That is a showcase for you. That is an achievement for you. You should be proud about that. But you should always look into the measurement. How do you measure it? You cannot measure these things.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's more about the referrals that you get from your clients. Okay.
Yes. Referrals is very important.
Okay.
Very important.
So, like, what about the paid ads that different like agency owners are running for to find clients? What do you think about that?
Paid ads. Okay. I have never ran paid ads till now. It's been 6+. Never ever ran paid ads on our social media. It's not because I want to save money. Again, it's more like this. See, you gotta prioritize your lead generation methods. How do you convert leads? And paid is something which is effective when it comes to you're launching a brand or you're creating a brand awareness and things like that. That is great. If you're looking into running paid ads, you're investing a lot of things, a lot of money. Now, let's say that on paid ads you put up a form, a lot of people replied. For you, it is a hot lead. You got and reached out. So sometimes what happens is that hot lead would be basically like it could turn bogus. All right. Or it could be like they have a very minimal requirement, etc. If you want really fruitful projects which converts, few things are like for me, which it works is LinkedIn works for me really well. You should have strong. So for agency owners, you should have strong LinkedIn profile. Strong LinkedIn profile. I'm not talking about you having 20,000 or 30,000 followers and things like that. When you comment on someone's post, it should be impactful. That should be an impactful comment, right? Then LinkedIn have this feature whether sometimes they go and invite you or to go and answer few questions on LinkedIn, top industry leaders or something. So you got to answer that with your knowledge properly. and then post it. So you become a contributor. So you go out and get a badge. So LinkedIn, again, there is a lot of ways to go out and search for leads in LinkedIn if you exactly know, rather than going to a company page and taking their phone number and calling them. That's a very cold approach. We have done that. I'm not denying that we haven't done that. I have done cold emailing, cold calls, everything. Per day. We have done 60 to 70 calls per day. Everything we have done it. But the thing is that right now we are more focused on how do you go ahead and put minimal efforts and get maximum conversion, right? For that, you got to specify your efforts. LinkedIn pay, what you search for, the keywords which you search for. There is a lot of requirements. Today, I went through LinkedIn and I was able to go ahead and find in less than 15 minutes, I was able to find about 6 to 7 hot leads. Okay. So a lot of people say LinkedIn pe kuch nahi aata or nothing comes up in LinkedIn. It is not like that. You should know what to search for. All right. So that is first and foremost. Second thing is that you got to put yourself out. You got to go to events. You got to go for trade shows. You got to be in different kinds of conferences. Once you go over there, you meet people. People recognize you. So when you approach them later, it won't be a cold approach. It will be more of a warm approach, not a hot approach, but again, a warm approach where you can initiate a conversation. Maybe that lead will not come at that point of time, but the lead might come after 3 months' time because you have created that impression. So it's all about the agency owner, the face of the business.
So, like, while starting out, as in your story, you didn't have a strong team, right?
No.
So how at the like when you are just starting out, when you don't have the budget, how do you build a strong team within your agency?
Okay. All right. So in order to build a strong team in an agency, team is the core. But you should know at that point of time. So when I started out, I know that I started as a design boutique firm. So I have a strong designer with me, who is my friend, who will do my job. But there are a few other things which I need, such as business development or social media managers and things like that. Another problem is when you're hiring in US here, it is very expensive. All right. So you gotta do things in a different manner, which is at that point of time I went with interns.
Okay, so you already had like few clients then?
Yeah, I did have 4, and that is when I went with interns.
So
Now, what you do?
at that time you didn't have any employee before that.
No.
Okay. So you were handling 4 clients yourself.
Yes, me and my friend was handling it. So most of the design work, it was mostly design work itself, and even website development or whatsoever it is, we used to go ahead and take care of that, which was pretty good. When we started hiring interns, now see, when it comes to interns, you should be very, very, very vigilant, right? So what is this that you just don't hire an intern for a specific task. Interns are someone whom you should train them. You should train them. If you don't train them, they will just come, they'll just do one specific task and they will walk it.
True.
If you are ready to put efforts and you see them putting efforts, that's when they grow and you grow. You should not go ahead and take that, all right, see, for social media posting, you go to any college, anywhere, there is a lot of students who are influencers at this point of time. They are not being hired by an influencer agency or they are not being backed by a marketer. They are doing it on their own and they are becoming an influencer somehow the better way. Correct?
Yeah, true.
How? Because people already know how things are being done. What you need to do is you need to go out and give them a specific way how to do it. So you got to train them. You got to put efforts and time into it, and then you train them. Once you train them, they'll be ready for the job.
What qualities did you look for in those like interns before hiring?
Do you know to use Instagram, Facebook? Do you know how to post? Do you know how to go and edit basic things? These are the basic things you got to look for. And then again, what's the stream of studies? If they're studying marketing, Then we will sit together and create a marketing strategy or a marketing brief or a creative brief together. So they also learn how to go out and build it.
Did you ever have an like intern who was who didn't know anything, but you like hired him upon your like seeing his personality and something like that? Did you ever do that?
Okay. Yeah.
Because you coming from a non-marketing background, you are running a branding agency, right? So
Mhm.
was there someone who didn't have any skills but purely based on his personality, like did you say okay,
Yeah.
this could be a right guy?
I have hired a business development intern like that. He did not have sales skills, but he was really good with communication. He knew how to go and talk. So I did hire him. He did lack a lot of things. But his confidence level was good, right? It doesn't matter what you say. He was pretty strong with his communication and his confidence in voice. I just needed to invest few weeks in terms of how to talk,
Uh-huh.
and I just put him out, and he was ready. It was good, but there is a good amount of work which went in,
Mhm.
which was good experience. I loved it. I like to go ahead and do this thing of training people. I don't know. Somewhere I have the thing of training people. I just enjoy it.
So like from 2019 till now, like did you find any change in the agency landscape? How are you actually like keeping your agency, adapting to changes?
Okay, see, I've seen a lot of posts saying that AI is coming over and taking over the jobs, etc., etc. See, mm, at the end of the day, everyone should understand one thing. You go out and buy a product because somewhere you are having an emotional connect with that brand somewhere,
True.
right? You don't just go out and buy a product uh, from any brand just like that, right? So let's say that we are talking about India, I don't know about Nepal. Back in India, if you take the very basic example of Amul, right? Amul is a very old brand,
Yeah.
right? You go somewhere, you want to go out and buy butter, you always prefer Amul. There is a lot of other brands who is ready to go ahead and do it, right? But why are you still preferring Amul? Because you have created trust throughout the period of time. They were able to emotionally connect with you. Same way. So what I'm trying to say is you look for an emotional connect. Being a software developer, being a website developer who have programmed and developed a lot of softwares, I'll tell you, yes, softwares can do amazing work. AI can do amazing work, but they can never ever create an emotional connect. An emotional connect can always be created by a human. So a human element is needed in every aspect. So let's
do
say
you
that
do you take any help of AI while like doing your work?
we do,
Okay.
not denying it. Of course we do. So
Okay.
let's say that we want to go out and create a specific proposal, right? So proposal, when you're creating a proposal for a client, what happens is you have a lot of pointers. You know exactly what you're going to do, what is output, and what are the steps, etc. You go ahead and put it into AI. But over here, this is the thing: you should know how to go and write the prompts, or else it will become robotic, right? Now again, AI companies, what they have done is, if you don't go for the paid version, you're gonna get robotic replies itself, whatever prompts you got to put in.
True.
If you do have a paid version, yes, it will listen to you properly. It will go ahead and give you a better result out of it. Now, when you're going and putting the prompts, you gotta mention what's your role, what are you trying to do, and what should be there in that specific generated script or generated sample. What should be the tone of that message, and what format it should be. If you give all these inputs, you're gonna get a better output. Once you take that output, then you modify it with the human element of it. You go through the completely, then you go and modify wherever it is necessary. So you're saving a lot of time over here in writing like a 6-page proposal, you're generating that through AI, but you're only investing time in proofreading and modifying and tweaking and finalizing it. So you're saving a lot of time. So this is how I look into it. I'm not telling that AI is bad or I don't use AI. I tell my copywriter or my copies are always and always written basically from their head. Yes, I always tell my digital team or my creative team to go ahead and write short copies on their own. But when it comes to long form copies or long form blogs or articles, you can depend on AI. There is no problem, but you gotta verify that before you publish it.
I'm curious, how does your day look like? What do you do?
Sorry.
How do you, like how does your day look like? What do you
My
do
day.
throughout the day? Yeah.
All right, buddy. Let's keep it like this. I'm a simple man.
Okay.
I don't see even after running Edbrig for this much time. We've been ranked among top 30 agencies in branding as well as advertising in US. So that's a very good accomplishment, etc. But I like to be simple. I like to be among my employees. I like to talk to them like a friend or a colleague. So that's how I am. So my day starts with get up, uh, a little bit of workout, and I do need my chai. Right? I'm a Malayali from South India, so I do need my chai. So that is something. Then before work or anything, I like to go and listen to news a little bit, what is happening around the world. So a little bit of news, and after that, I slowly cook. And between cooking, I'll check my emails, messages, whatever the communications are. When is my next meeting coming up, and things like that. Yeah. So if
So,
I'm needed to go somewhere, I'll plan it accordingly for the day. If not, there are a few of my employees who's working remote. There are a few employees who's working from home, working from office. So yeah,
so
uh,
you guys like have an office, uh,
yeah, we do have an office in Florida.
and like you worked in India, you worked in Colombia, you worked in USA, so you know we have talked about the price disparity, right?
Mm-hmm.
The client in the US is willing to pay 8,000 $8,000 a month, and here in India it's 1 lakh. So, um, have you like outsourced your work to like people in India so that your work will be done much cheaper? Like, are you doing it right now as well, or was
Okay.
it in the initial phase and now you just have a team there in the
Okay.
US?
Okay. This is how I gotta look into it. I'm not gonna be offensive or demeaning in any manner. All right. I care about quality. Okay.
True.
For me, quality is important. Even if I'm doing a project which I quoted or it has been underquoted, that's fine for me. Okay. Because I know that the next quote which I'm gonna put it into that client, I would quote it higher. So that's how the math works for me. Now, when you outsource, there is a lot of good things which happen, just like price. So I quoted $5,000. I can go ahead and do the same thing. If I outsource it, I can go ahead and pull it for, let's say, about 1 lakh rupees in India, right? So I have a huge amount of profit which is coming up.
Yeah.
Now, if my work turns out to be bad, I'm not going to get another project. I can trust my employee in and out because they are here. They know exactly my style. What is my output? I know them very well. They have been working with me, but I don't know the freelance or the other company. What is their output? Yes, I can see their portfolio and things like that. That's a completely different thing. But the outsourcing part, it's a little bit difficult. Now, when it comes to branding, I think in our part of the world, that is Eastern Hemisphere, especially countries like India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and things like that, we need to go and step up a lot in terms of branding. A lot. I've seen a lot of people talking about branding is inside marketing, marketing is inside branding, and things like that. There is a different concept about it, right? So I think if I'm outsourcing a branding project to India,
Mhm.
where I can save a lot of money,
Mhm.
but if I'm not 100% sure about that, that's I'm not going to outsource. So I think there is a learning curve which is absent over there. There is a lot of good brand strategists in India. I'm not denying it. They are working for great agencies, bigger agencies in the world,
Mhm.
but that's only a handful.
Mhm.
I'm talking about just a handful of people. You go to LinkedIn and you go post brand strategies. People go out and say, I'm a brand strategist. What do you offer in brand strategies? You go and I got an offer logo. No, that's not branding for you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Branding starts with a brand audit and ends with a brand launch. There is a huge things. There are multiple elements over there. Your brain gets ache. Like
Mhm.
literally, I have spent hours into it. So trust me. So that is one thing which is the reason why I don't outsource. Uh, First and foremost thing. Second thing is that even if they are doing a good work,
Mhm.
even let's say that I'm outsourcing to India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or Nepal,
Mhm.
even if you guys are if that agency is going in and doing a good job, um, there is a tone which has been set inside my organization,
Mhm.
and there is a specific um, what do you say? There is a bandwidth which has been set. So when you're doing a job, okay, you should be a 7 out of 10.
Mhm.
That has been set. And it has been met here always 7 or 7 plus or 8 or 8 plus. I cannot expect them to do the same job. How many times will I go back and forth with them?
Sure.
Like, guys, review it, guys, review it, guys, review it, guys, review it. No, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Maybe you can call me lazy, but it is how it is.
Okay, so we are actually coming to an end of the podcast. So
Mhm.
I like to ask you what would be the one advice that you would like to give to an agency owner or someone who is actually like just starting out the agency. What would be that one advice?
Okay. Start small. First and foremost thing. There is a lot of competition. Every block there is another agency out there, right? So do not get scared of the competition. Competition will rise, but start small. Um, Pick something which you know you can pull it off, even if it is just one thing. Now, if you think that you're not getting clients, that's okay. You try to go ahead and pull off work from your family or your friends and things like that. Try to build a portfolio around that. Go towards LinkedIn, Reddit, and there are other forums and platforms where you can literally ask for advisors. You can actually, if you actually put in efforts, you will be able to go ahead and find the clients. But efforts is not like, okay, the client will come to me. You should go ahead and do that. So there is a specific way to go ahead and do that. You should learn how to do that. Along with this, you should build your profile. Who are you? Because before your agency get a name, people will look for you. All right.
Mhm.
So you should go out and create a personal brand out of that. Right. So you should be an expert before someone go out and give you that. So focus on these things. Never quit. If you think, nah, I'm gonna quit, then yeah, this is not for you because agency is very difficult, very very difficult job. So that's the very basic foundational advices I would like to go ahead and give it to someone who's starting out. Do not pump in too much of money. Pump in what is necessary. Hire when it is absolutely necessary.
Okay. So I think if things goes right, we'll have our next episode, and I think we should now like end this podcast here. What do you think, Abhijit? You
Yeah.
have anything that you would like to share about your next project or anything that's coming up? You know. where can people actually find you if they want to follow or like in your journey or see your work?
All right. First and foremost thing, I'm sorry for the technical issue with the camera. I could not turn on the camera today. So maybe if there is another episodes coming up, you guys should see me.
Yeah,
Not the best to
yeah.
see.
I'm curious to how Abhijit looks like.
I don't look my age. I look younger. So
Okay.
that's one thing. And now, if you want to find me, you can of course go ahead and visit my website, and you would be able to go and find it. Or I'll just type my name on Google. You would be able to find me. It's pretty simple as that. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. There is no problem. Whenever I have the time, I try to go and reach out to every emails or every questions on LinkedIn. So feel free to go into that.
All right, then we'll meet again if possible. I'll watch this podcast again to like ensure I haven't missed a thing here. So thank you for being here.